Welcome back to the Supersport Garage Podcast. I'm Caden.
I'm Lee.
Today we're going to be discussing what we think will be the next car to cross the 300 mile an hour barrier. And so, just initially, we want to discuss the two cars that have actually done it. One of which is actually my dream car and the namesake of the Supersport Garage channel as a whole is the Chiron Supersport 300 Plus. And it reached a top speed of 304.773 miles an hour on the Volkswagen test track on August 2nd, 2019, with Andy Wallace as the driver, who also set the 253 mile an hour, I believe, top speed record with the Bugatti Mistral, which is the fastest open top roadster vehicle ever. And this was the Chiron Supersport 300 Plus was the first production car to cross the 300 mile an hour barrier. It's crazy that it was 2019.
Yeah.
That's almost 7 years ago. Granted, it was late in the year, but it feels like it was not that long ago.
Yep, it does. The next one is the BYD Yangwang U9 Extreme, made by a Chinese company. It set a top speed record of 308.4 miles per hour on the APT Papenburg track in Germany on September 14th, 2025. It's a quad motor electric hypercar with 3,000 horsepower. It is planned to make 30 units of the Extreme, and the price of the Extreme hasn't been announced yet. But a normal U9 has a starting price of 252,000.
Yeah, so who knows? They're probably going to do at least half a million if I had to guess, but this is not a company I would if we had made this back in July, I would not have even guessed BYD.
Well, and the interesting thing is the Bugatti Chiron kept the 304 mile per hour record until the Yangwang U9 Extreme came out, and the U9 only beat it by 4 miles per hour.
Yeah, which is still crazy when you're moving at 300 miles an hour. But then again, you have Johnny Bomer, who has the bad GT, where he took a 2005 Ford GT, ripped off the supercharger, made it as light as possible, twin turboed it, has 2,500 horsepower, and he did 310 in a car that's 20 years old. Like, there's obviously speed, and I looked it up, and there's only 50 people that have 50 that have ever crossed the 300 mile an hour barrier, which is crazy.
And we need to try that.
That'd be fun.
I want to see the world flying by at 300 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I like flying,
Yeah.
is because I get to go fast.
Oh yeah. But if you guys saw our video last week about the Corvette doing 173 miles an hour over 118-mile track or distance, I'm curious how a Chiron Supersport would do on that. That'd be so much fun. I think that could kill any record there is. But
I've always believed that the best test track would be in Wyoming or Idaho, where they shut down 2 lanes of the interstate, and you just got to drive, for 150 miles as fast as you want.
the only issue with that is like the Corvette, the heat, and then also if there's a deer or something and you hit that at 300
You
miles an
would
hour,
never know you hit it.
you would be dead. But anyways, we're kind of getting off topic. Let's dive into the cars that we think are going to be the next 300 mile an hour car. And up first, we have the Hennessy Venom F5, which we've talked about briefly in episode 12 about the Hennessy factory. And they're built in Texas, and they plan to produce 90 units across the Roadsters, the Revolutions, and all the different trims that they have for them. But they have a claimed top speed of 330 miles an hour, and it has done a verified run of 271. It also hit 221 miles an hour in a half-mile race, which is crazy because I think this car is very, very capable of 300 miles an hour.
It's a beautiful car.
Yeah. and it's powered by a 6.6 liter twin turbo V8 that produces over 1800 horsepower. Or you can get the Evo package now, and that comes with 2050 horsepower.
Hmm. The next one is the Koenigsegg Jesko, and it's another one that claims to go 330 miles per hour, although they haven't quite done that yet. It has a 5-liter twin turbo V8 that produces 1600 horsepower on E85 fuel, which is pretty interesting. It briefly held the 0 to 250 to 0 speed record until the Rimac Navara R broke it. And there will only be 125 Jescos made, but owners are allowed to pick either the Absolute or the Attack. The Attack is a track version, so whichever one that you want.
Yeah, so even Koenigsegg doesn't know how many absolutes are going to be made versus attacks. Like it's entirely up to the owners how which one will be more rare. And um next up is the Bugatti Bolide, which is technically not or isn't a road car, but I feel like it still classifies into this because it's the Guinness World Record requires a production car to have at least 30 units produced of everything. Hence the reason the Chiron Supersport had 30 units. The BYD Yangwang U9 Extreme will have 30 units. The Venom F5 will have 90, which is plenty. Bolide will have 40. Like they just want to make sure that it's not just a one-off car running these top speeds, but the Bolide is a track-only hypercar that uses the 8-liter W16 quad turbocharged W16 from the Chiron, but they tuned it from 1600 horsepower to 1825, which I did not know that that motor had that much room to give, but it has a claimed top speed of 311 miles an hour, but they're saying that that top speed is electronically limited, which for a race car to be limited at 311. I want to see this car do 311.
Yeah.
And Bugatti is definitely a company that is not afraid to attempt these top speed records.
Yeah, I like the the tire use on that car.
Yeah. You get about 37 miles before you have to replace those tires, and if I remember right, those tires are about 40 to $60,000. You have to buy all four. You can't buy one. But they'll be the bolides will be built at a cost of over $4 million, but some build slots, as they're starting to be delivered, later build slots are now selling for around five, depending on options and stuff. Which
And another car that we're looking at is, and I don't know if I'll pronounce it right, but the SSC Tuatera. It set an official top speed record of 295 miles per hour in May of 2022, but they were also caught claiming that the car had done 331 miles per hour in 2020.
yeah,
So
there's a reason they have a bad reputation in the car world. You don't just lie about stuff like that.
you have to show it. You have to show it to people.
Yeah, I think it was claimed. The official speed was like 280 or something like that, which is still insane, but when you're off by 50 miles an hour,
And in their credit, it may be that they're claiming that it could do 331 miles per hour. I guess we have to wait and see how that goes.
yeah.
It has a twin turbo V8 that produces 1,750 horsepower on, again, E85 fuel. And they plan to make 100 of those cars at $1.9 million each. And they'll be made in Washington State in the United States.
So out of the four cars, two of them will be made in the US. And personally, I think the car that can most easily do become the next 300 mile an hour car is the Hennessy Venom F5. They've
Now,
they've tested it,
mhm.
and in fact they wrecked a car trying to do it, and that's been very much on the down low. They tried to keep that pretty quiet, but they've wrecked a car trying to do it. Their CEO has actively said that they are trying to do the 300 mile an hour run. But honestly, I would not be surprised if the Bolide breaks the record too, just because Bugatti, like I said, has a history of pushing their cars to the absolute max. And this is the whole reason people buy Bugattis, is because they're the fastest car in the world.
And they want to keep it that way.
Mhm.
However, I think it's going to be the Koenigsegg Jesko.
That is a very good runner up.
We went over the Koenigsegg, I think our last episode, we talked about that.
Yeah,
And
something like that.
it's a very well built car. And I think that with a little bit of tuning, a little bit of work on it, they're going to hit the 330 mile per hour record
Hmm.
or come very, very close to it.
Yeah. All four of these cars could very easily do it. Like the SSC Tuatara, it's done 295 verified, so it doesn't have to go much faster to do that. And so it's gone the fastest out of all of these cars that are supposed to be able to do 300. But honestly, I don't really see them going. I don't see them beating out these other three.
No, the other three are very, very well established companies.
Yeah,
And they're well established because they have records and reputations that they want to keep.
that's a very important thing. But
You don't want to come out and say, I've got the slowest Bugatti that they've made.
yeah, which now a Veyron is like slow, which makes no sense, but it's just how they are now.
And that's all we have for you for this episode.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in and liking us. And for our new subscribers, we appreciate that.
Yeah, make sure to share this with your friends and leave us a comment on what car you think is the next 300-mile-an-hour car, because I'm sure that we left some of them out here. I scoured the internet to try and find them, but I got the four that kind of got that I see the most likely to do the 300-mile-an-hour barrier. But let us know what you think. And thanks for watching. Have a great day.
We'll see you later.
See ya.